Vegans truly believe that they're eating a healthy diet and will often gravitate towards organic produce, which sounds great until you realise what that means. We need to feed the soil in order to grow plants, because plants won't grow in dirt. That's essentially what monocrops are, lifeless dirt. Everything on that land has been killed off, including microorganisms in the soil, to grow just one crop. Nitrogen fertilizer is then used to allow the crop to grow, which is manufactured utilizing fossil fuels, meaning dead animals. Farmers will use livestock manure to enrich the soil as it provides nutrients and improves organic matter and tilth. Now the conditions are suitable to grow crops. So the idea that you can be a vegan and consume organic produce without animal agriculture and death is redundant.
The arable land has to be fertilized. It's fertilized with organic fertilizers, which almost without exception stem from animal manure. Many of my vegan students here at UC Davis tell me they like to eat organic food and locally grown food and so on, are unaware that if they eat organic crops, then the only reason why they can eat organic crops is because there's animal agriculture around supplying the nutrients, because these organic crops cannot come from chemical fertilizer use. So that's just illustrative of how interconnected everything is in agriculture. Every farmer knows that.
Vegans will often demonize saturated fats and ketones, but will advocate for plenty of fiber in the diet. Now, for anyone who understands what happens to fiber once it reaches the gut, will know that the bacteria that reside there ferment the fiber, generating short-chain fatty acids. Short-chain fatty acids are saturated fats.
Look at the scientific definition of what fiber is. It's a indigestible polysaccharide. Lots of sugar you can't digest. One of the things I think is really interesting is the argument that many of the vegans, vegetarians make is that it feeds the bacteria and therefore it makes short-chain fatty acids, which of course is saturated fat, guys. Yeah. So you're telling us not to eat saturated fat. So get your story straight. What do you want? Do you think saturated fat is good or bad?
Short-chain fatty acids have to be converted into ketones first before nourishing the gut and the cells that line the colon, the colonocytes. So vegans, are we for ketones? Or are we against ketones? Because when you advocate for fiber, you are advocating for ketone bodies. That's how this works. Vegans will tell you how much they love animals, yet many of them own pets like cats and dogs, who are carnivores.
Dogs can thrive and survive on a plant-based diet.
And then they will force their ideology onto their cats and dogs, making sure that they eat nothing but vegetation.
Can you tell us how long your cat has been vegan for?
I think he's about 2 or 3 years old now. I think he's turning 3. And he's been on a vegan diet since then.
This is simply animal abuse.
What I will never understand, though, is why many vegans and vegetarians think it's okay to force their personal viewpoints, their personal dietary choices onto their dog or cat.
It also seems a little counterintuitive to me to own an obligate carnivore that quite literally kills for sport.
He is a big, strong kitty. He's a big, strong kitty. It's a really large cat.
You're repeating yourself, you know that? You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself.
I'm sure there's quite a few double standards that I've failed to mention in this video. Please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be interested to read them later, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.